Hi friends, guess what just arrived in the mail? My Hindash Beautopsy palette, but first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. Beautopsy just arrived. I'm very excited. I had other plans to film other things, but you know what? When Hindash arrives, you stop everything. Not actually Hindash. Otherwise, I mean, if Hindash were to ever visit me, I will probably stop everything I was doing. Take out my notebook and just start listening. And hopefully he will bring Timmy as well. If you don't know who Hindash is, he is a makeup artist based in Dubai, and he released his product, I believe it might have been 1-2 weeks ago. Time moves so quickly. I first discovered Hindash, of course, on YouTube and was completely entranced by his style of makeup, his technique. I'm sure many of you would agree with me, his just beyond soothing voice and approach to applying makeup. One of the most calming, level-headed, balanced presentations of makeup application I think exists on YouTube. Period. And I will link the video down below where Hindash explains Beautopsy, the philosophy and the inspiration behind it. But quickly to summarize, Hindash was actually a painter for over 10 years, and Beautopsy was born out of his thesis that focused on dissecting society's perception of beauty, and his thesis provided inspiration for his solo/senior show, which he called Beautopsy, again diving deeper into beauty, people's perception of it, and the whole spectrum of what that can yield. Hindash wanted his first makeup product to be multifunctional, and the inception of Beautopsy, the palette, started in 2018. So this was over a 2-year process-ish. And here we have it in the bubble wrap, in a lot of foam pieces here. This is from the Middle East, so happy that this actually arrived in a timely fashion. Here is the outer component, and Hindash also explained where, because I know many of you were like, oh my god, the price. This does retail for $75. And again, you could check out his video. He basically broke down the fact that these pouches, as you will see, they have a gradient and they're all pressed individually. And because he wanted this to be a multifunctional product where it can be used on face and eyes, this is presented as a pressed pigment palette that is not only cruelty-free but vegan. So if you choose to apply some of these pigments on your eyes, notably the ones that have that red or pink tint that might have an ingredient that might not be eye friendly, just proceed with caution. Ooh, I just opened it. Let me close it again. Let me start from the top. Alongside the palette, you also receive a card where it explains instructions, how to use it, which let's get into that now actually. Open up to you. Beautopsy is a 6-pan, 12-shade pressed pigment gradient face and eyeshadow palette with a 24-hour, it just says 24-color payoff. How to use. Create the ultimate look by swirling your brush along the gradient pans to customize your perfect shade. Sweep along eyes, cheeks, brows, highlights, and contours of the face. You are the artist of your masterpiece. Oh, Hindash, thank you. You're so kind. We got tan lines, wet paint, boy wonder fill. Okay, let's go through these when we do the swatches. But here is the actual palette. It's in cardboard. Hindash explained how he insisted on creating a cardboard palette as he felt cardboard was durable in that if you dropped it by accident, although we will try not to, but it happens, the powders will be protected. But this is pretty good cardboard. This is not like your flimsy cardboard. It has like a texture on it that's very beautiful. It definitely feels high end in nature, and the design, well actually, hold on, wait a minute. The design reminds me of one of my many Hobonichi Techo planners. This is my Astro Boy one. It kind of reminds me of a planner, which I love on the low because I'm planner obsessed. And here we have with this sleeve, which is like, it's a frosted sleeve. That's fancy. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me do the reveal. That is absolutely gorgeous. This looks even better in person. I mean, oh my gosh, that light change. Hello. When I saw the photographs and when I saw his video, the powders looked exceptionally beautiful. But in person, I'm now experiencing Beautopsy. Absolutely gorgeous. To quickly go over the details again, I said $75, it's $70. It says here, Beautopsy Pressed Pigment Palette, contents made in Italy, but assembled in China. 100% vegan. We're looking at a suggested shelf life of 24 months. The total grammage is 24 grams. So that will equal to math. I was gonna say 4 grams. I need to give myself more credit with this mathematics stuff. So you get a lot of pigment per hey there. You get a good amount of product. I think this is great for consumer and pro. I don't even want to swatch this, fam. I don't even want to, but we're gonna. First up, we got tan lines. So that's the tan part. That's the white part. Soft tan brown into a pure white. These are very soft. Now, I'm not being super aggressive with these swatches, fam, because I just don't want to disrupt the beautiful gradient here. And yeah, man, this is beautiful. Wet and paint. Beige and banana yellow. Is that? Yes, that is the banana yellow. These are very soft, but I think he wanted that texture on purpose, so you have the ability to build these as you like if you want something softer on the face, but you have the opportunity to adjust the intensity if you want to apply any of these pigments on your eyes. Boy wonder, this is such a pretty pink. Peach to bubblegum pink. Ooh, these are really nice powders, fam. Feel and real. Neutral brown to your true concrete gray. I'm really excited to kind of mix these together, perhaps to discover if we can in fact create an ideal contour shade for my skin tone and for anyone who's around my complexion. Love and kills. Fiery orange to the red hot. What does it say? Hot red. Hot red. I like that. Those are pretty. Lastly, intra fatum. Chocolate brown into the pitch black. I'm gonna do black again. I like that it's not intense because, you know, blacks can definitely change the look quickly depending how pigmented it is. It could look very patchy, but again, since this is used both on eyes and face, if this were to be of a similar consistency to a black eyeshadow, I don't think an ideal texture to use on the complexion. So I'm happy to see that, you know, it doesn't swatch well, but I'm sure it blends well. We will discover that together. I just have my foundation on. I will put all what I have down below. I'm gonna do a little prime on the eyes. And why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Now, I mistakenly set my under eyes on purpose, but no matter. I will go in with wet and paint. I think probably in the middle to achieve a little bit of brightening, but I also want to try tan and lines more on the greater, or rather on the inner part of the eye. Taking a Kiroido Takumi, I think there's like a Chico highlighter brush. So right there on the middle, this is what it's looking like. We have a mirror in the palette, I think appropriately sized for the entirety of the design. And just quickly go over maybe something here. Oh, that's nice. Immediately, I suspected based on the swatches that this powder will be undetectable. It melts into the skin beautifully. Taking a little bit of the white and tan and lines. Oh, I like that. Right on the inner part of the eye. Now, granted, I had already applied Pat's pressed powder by accident. I'm so sorry. Don't yell at me. But knowing I could layer this over another product and it not look heavy is reassuring. Now, my question is, do I want to, yes, I do, feel and real? I'm gonna go, well, first of all, let me change the brush I want to use. I think right in the middle, I'm gonna tap a little bit off, and I did not set my foundation. Oh, all right, that's not too bad. think we got a good amount of the neutral brown and the concrete gray. That definitely is giving me a little more sculpty sculpt. I'm being very light-handed here. This is a Surratt angled cheek brush. I thought appropriate for this task. That one's tricky. You have to make sure you pick up just the right amount of brown or gray. But that makes it exciting, you know? You kind of gives you the opportunity to play a little more, to just kind of figure out what is your ideal gradient. But that I thought laid down pretty nicely. And the fact that I did not set my foundation and the powder, I do think laid down smoothly. I went in with my bigger powder brush because I just want the product to spread, or rather diffuse a touch a bit more. Oh, but what are we gonna use? Well, one side we gotta go in with Boy and Wonder, and the other side for sure, Love and Kills. Let's go in with Wayne's Boy and Wonder. I'll go in on the peachy side first. Oh, that's lovely. These are all matte, by the way, but they don't look dull on the skin. They don't look dry. I'll go in with a little bit of the bubblegum side, maybe higher. Oh, that's pretty. Tan and lines, however, the white part of the gradient I'm placing here on the cheekbones. I do love how these are all matte because it just gives you a little more freedom. You could use this palette with other palettes that you have in your collection, because all matte looks, I think, are just so classic and elegant and very editorial. As if you haven't seen Hindash's makeup looks, they're just so classic and beautifully constructed. I mean, the attention to detail is absolutely flawless. I could only wish to apply makeup like Hindash does, but we're going to do our best today. All right, the fiery orange with a little bit of the hot red. Beautiful for deeper skin tones. Ooh, but really nice here as well. And Hindash made it a priority, of course, for all skin tones to be able to use this palette. So I do actually think this is a well thought out presentation of putting together as many shades as possible to build a complexion on any skin tone that's going to give them structure and life on the cheeks. So this is Boy Wonder. This is Love Kills. I love them both. Ideally, just go like this. You could combine them. And again, the powders are so soft. You can build the intensity to what you like, not fearing that the powders will appear heavy on the skin. Ooh. And I love how everything is in one palette. I don't have to, whether going to Bay's house or Maddie's house, I don't have to bring different products unless I insist on doing so. There really is no reason to. Wet and paint with my bigger powder brush on the forehead, just between these two products here, the Feel and Real and the blushes, or rather the red and pink pigments, excuse me. Definitely now want to go in and build some eyes. Now, Hindash is super classic in how he does his eye makeup, so I'm going to follow suit in the same regard. Taking my reference number 16, the tan side of tan and lines, just hitting the crease. So that's pretty much my skin tone, but a shade I can rely on to blend out the deeper shades found in the palette. For instance, the deeper brown in Feel and Real, the deeper brown in Intra and Fatum. So taking some Feel, the Feel side, dabbing that on the outer portion of my crease, or rather lid, and these are incredibly soft on the eyes. Very nice to blend. They just have a silky texture that's forgiving on both the eyes and on the face. Let's do another shade here. Let's go in with the Real side for the right eye. And that's definitely more of a gray, but that's a pretty gray. I'm taking in more of the brown to see what we can get when we combine these two together. And that is just lovely. It's almost as if when you combine them, that the outer edge of the Real side naturally gradiates into the more neutral brown side. Ooh, I like that. Please forgive my dirty brushes, but let's use this Koiro Kakishibuzomi. In between tan and lines, which Hindash has done to highlight the lid. Ooh, yes. Making it come more forward so there's more distinct contrast there. And why not more on the beige side of Wet and Paint on the neutral brown eye. That's a nice combination, I think. Now, Hindash spends a lot of time blending for the sake of this video. You know, I don't want to keep you here all day, but he pays great attention to detail when building his eye looks. I mean, a lot more intricate than how I'm going right now. But, you know, that's what Hindash is for. If you want to see some artistry, you head over to his channel, okay? And I'll see you later. Taking the feel side under the lash line here. Taking real under the lash line here. Oh, this is a lovely color. Oh, I like that. That's pretty. This concept of the gradient and just having more colors at your disposal depending on where from the gradient you decide to apply your pigment. Hindash has even said himself, this is not a new concept, but I think a great concept to rely on to deliver as many shades as possible in a compact design of a palette like this. All right, Intra. Very deep, rich brown. Going in with my refer number 3, and I want to build the lash line here and maybe apply a little more color on the outer corner, but I already like how this is looking. I enjoy the tone of this brown. If I wanted a little more definition on the lash line but didn't necessarily want to rely on black to give me that intensity, I have this color. Or if I wanted a little more, I'll move over, catching a little more of the black. But as we saw in the swatch, since the black is forgiving, you can apply it with confidence and not thinking it's going to overwhelm your look quickly. You have a little bit of time to build the pigment, find the intensity you're looking for, and I'm just going back and forth with the number 3, more so on the tail end of that wing, just so that I could shape it a little bit more. Now, Hindash is known for his crazy beautiful wings. I mean, those things are super, super sharp. And I might just have the audacity to maybe build one. This is my Chikuhoro T12. It has a sharper edge than my, whatchamacallit, what is my refer. So I'm using the edge of the brush to better sketch out this wing, which is not gonna look as good as Hindash's, let me tell ya. But this is just, you know, is giving us the mood. It's all about the mood and the vibe. Oh, you know what it is? I went a little too high. Figuring out the right angle for these shadow wings, these powder wings, is so tricky. Not bad. It's a little swoopy for my liking, but you know what? For this side, let's go on the Fatum side and concentrate more on the black. But instead of doing a botched up wing on this side, what I'm going to do is create brackets on the outer portions of my lash line to create that nice bookend of smoke. And if you want more black shadow, then you will stay all the way on the Fatum side to get the most payoff. And ooh, not bad. We're doing all right. I like that. It didn't come out so bad. I was worried. A little bit of the beige side here on this brow arch, and then a little bit on the white side for that brow arch. And why not? Let's do a little bit of in between feel and real for that. Couldn't get the words out. Okay. Now I am very well aware this doesn't look nearly as beautiful as one of Hindash's look. But you know what? I just do my best, okay? But because I'm such a perfectionist, kind of, not really. I mean, look at this eye look. I definitely want to fix this. I think if it was angled higher, okay, it can appear a little bit better. I think that's a little bit better. Maybe a little too high. I just can't seem to get it right. But you know what? That doesn't look too bad. A little concealer underneath helps a lot. A huge thank you to Noelle for sending me some of their lashes. This is in the style Heather. Is this? Yes, Heather. They're very light. I think very Hindash appropriate. Going in with Ofra and Samantha March's collab in Peony Lip Gloss. And here is the finished look using the first impressions of the Hindash Beautopsy Pressed Pigment palette. I just realized we could actually apply a little more of the white on the inner corners here to get a little more bright. Oh, it's much better. Again, providing some context, this is a first impressions from what I have used so far, what I had just experienced in this demo. I think this is a flawless execution of Hindash's concept. I love that there's a gradient. I don't mind that two colors are blending into one another. I had a seamless time in picking up whether it was the more beige side or yellow side. And quite frankly, I want to mix colors all the time. So the fact that we do have the opportunity with these gradient pans, I think makes it for an effortless blending experience for either your eye makeup or your face makeup. I'm fine with the fact that it's all matte because all matte looks, I think Hindash does beautifully and definitely is the foundation for a lot of his looks, or actually I think more specifically for his makeup application preference in general. Again, it's classic, it's elegant, but even though the powders are matte, they're not completely dull. I mean, if you look here, they're soft and they have a skin-like finish that I think an ideal texture to be worn by multiple skin types, whether you are dry, you're normal, or you're more normal to oily. I would say maybe you don't necessarily have to set your foundation with these powders, and then perhaps you can buff a finishing powder or loose powder to set everything so that it doesn't move. If you are more on the oily side of the spectrum, if you're drier, then you will apply your foundation or whatever complexion product you wish to use and just go straight in with the Beautopsy powders. The Feel and Real gradient pan is fun. I think it's going to be interesting just to kind of see what can we get, you know, what is going to be our ideal contour shade, mixing a little more of the concrete gray and the neutral brown. And if you are deeper in skin tone, diving in to Intra and Fatum, figuring out what's going to be the ideal gradient ratio for your skin tone if you are deeper. And if you're lighter, you could use tan and lines. I think this is a nice neutral tone tan. It's not too warm. And if you wanted, you could just go down to Feel and Real in case you wanted to get a little more of the concrete gray. You could wipe the pans and bring it back to the original gradient. It's so hard because I want this palette to remain pristine forever, but I'm sure Hindash is like, I made it so you could use it for all who chose to buy it. This definitely inspires creativity, experimentation, and the fact that it allows you to mix these colors in any which way, to just play with the tonality and the intensity, adjusting the color richness depending on whether you want to go more pink or more red, more brown or more gray. It's magnificent. I'm so happy that I bought this. I'm always happy to support anyone who is first embarking on a new journey, especially when it comes to creating makeup products where the market right now is just so saturated. But the fact that Hindash was able to find his space here in the makeup industry with his perspective and his approach to makeup application and what he thinks or what he perceives as beautiful in the way people wear their makeup is remarkable. So a huge congratulations to Hindash. I cannot wait to see more products from Hindash Cosmetics. I am very happy with this product. Again, I just used it for the first time today. Hey, Light Change, I see you, but you know what? We're going to ignore you for just one more second so I could finish this thought. I look forward to what he decides to create, and I have no doubt that whatever it is going to be beautifully executed and will very much align with Hindash's style of makeup and his style of technique. Let me know if you guys picked up Beautopsy, if you have it already, what you think of it, if you're skipping it, and why. I'll see you down in the comments below. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, first impression extravaganza, monthly favors, or brunch time chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.